Good morning, my beautiful diamond. SheilaTruelove here with you. I woke up early this morning. I think it was around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock this morning. And I was just thinking about the unrealistic expectations that are placed on mothers. You have many of these adult children, how, they hold their mothers to this standard of perfection, believing that they should never struggle with any type of mental health issues or any type of physical health issues like depression, postpartum. They have some mothers who are bipolar. You have some mothers who are struggling with schizophrenia. They have those. I remember when I gave birth to my son, I had postpartum challenges. Then there's the menopause, then there's cramps, then there's endometriosis, and I can go on and on. But the truth is, mothers, they're human too. They're just human too. They experience trauma, pain, heartbreak, PTSD, and imperfections just like everyone else. So when we demand perfection from our moms, we forget that they carry their own burdens. They face their own battles, often silently. They keep it to themselves while they're trying to support their children and trying to keep their head above the water. This pressure, it's overwhelming. It's not only overwhelming, but it can also be very damaging. Can you imagine feeling like you can't express your struggles because it might disappoint your children? Or you might not be setting a good example? That's a very heavy load to bear. Mothers are often seen as the pillars of strength in the family, but they need compassion and understanding as well. And instead of holding onto these unrealistic expectations, we need to acknowledge that mothers are not superheroes. I know I used to always say my mom is my shero. My mom was a single parent with 6 children, 5 boys, and I'm the only girl. But then I had to come to recognize my mom is not a superhero. She's an imperfect human. She's doing her best. And most mothers, they're doing their best in a very challenging world. You adult children are living in the same world that your mother's living in, and you know how hard it is out here. So I think it's time for these adult children to recognize that it's okay for mothers to have moments of vulnerability too. And instead of condemning and judging her, why not ask her, Mom, how are you doing? And I mean, how are you really doing? And support her in her struggles, just like she supported you throughout your life. I see you made it to adulthood. And keep in mind that empathy, it goes a long way. Empathy also, it should work both ways. And when you think about it, this is what I was thinking about at 3 or 4 o'clock this morning. Love is not about being perfect. It's about being real, keeping it real with your children, being honest with them, looking out for their best interest. You give them compliments to build them up. At the same time, you have to be truthful with them also if you really, really genuinely love them. So like I said, it's not about being perfect. It's about keeping it real and supporting each other throughout it all. When the fathers step off, a lot of them come back after all the work is done. Let's say when the children are 21, giving them a sob story. Oh, I was going through it. I'm supposed to be a provider and protector, and I wasn't in a position, or I was in jail, or yada, yada. And these adult children, they buy that. They'll sit there and buy into that. And yet the parent who stayed, the mother, they'll treat her, excuse my French, like ass wipe. Something to wipe their behind with. They see her as someone who's useless now. And I'm grown now, and I'm strong now. I don't need you. You don't have nothing nobody want. You don't have anything anybody need now. I have it all now, and I can do for myself. And little do a lot of these mothers, or did a lot of these mothers realize, just because you have children, that's no guarantee that they're going to grow up to even like you. They may not even like you. You may be actually raising your enemy, helping them to get stronger and stronger, so they could kick you in your behind as as time goes on. And that's horrible, And this is what I was thinking about, like I said, early this morning, and I couldn't go back to sleep. I keep thinking about how I see women on social media, mothers, in tears. They're crying. They don't want to mess up. They can't handle it. a lot of the mothers now, they're not waiting for people to call CPS on them. They're calling CPS. They're leaving these children at firehouses and dropping them off at police stations and leaving them in hospitals. You know? So many adult children, they're so hard on their mothers. They think that these mothers are never supposed to be depressed. Don't you ever get sick. You know? You're not supposed to have any issues, Mom. You're supposed to be the backbone of this family. They don't understand, you know, your mothers, better yet, should be allowed to struggle. We forget that they have their own challenges, baby, their own traumas that they've been through. Let's talk PTSD. They've got their own baggage and battles that a lot of these adult children may not even know about because the mother was trying to hide it. I know there were many times when I was overwhelmed. Oh my God, it was just what? A lot of times I turned to alcohol when I felt it was just too much for me, and I'm trying to hide it. It was a lot. It was a lot being a single mother. And like I said, just because you're married, that's not a guarantee that things are going to run smoothly, you know, because there's times when moms have to kick the husband out. He can't keep his eggplant in his pants, and nobody's trying to play Russian roulette with their life and with their health. So now mom is left holding the bag. Woo, child, that is a hard job. And I think that we should normalize talking about mental health and the struggles of motherhoods. I think moms, single moms especially, they deserve our compassion, not our criticism. They're not just here to serve us. They need love and they need support too. So the next time you catch yourself thinking that your mom should be perfect, remember, she's navigating life just like you are. We're all living in the same world. I know it's challenging out here. It's hard enough for one person to just look out for themselves. Now, can you imagine when you have other people who are depending on you? That's hard. Moms are supposed to, and we are expected to be selfless. We're supposed to be resilient. Thanks to Jehovah God and Jesus Christ, I am very resilient. And trust me, alcohol helped me many days to keep me out of a psychiatric unit. You know? Wow, we have our own imperfections, our traumas, you know, just like everybody else. We have moments of vulnerability, and mothers need support too. And when we judge our mothers for their struggles, what we risk is, instead of uniting and getting closer, we risk deepening the divide between generations. So instead of offering compassion and understanding, you create an environment where they feel they have to hide their pain. And then this stigma around mental health and emotional well-being, that can lead to isolation for mothers also, who are already grappling and going through their own challenges. And it's just so imperative and so important to recognize that motherhood, oh my God, mothers are just not perfect, baby. They face their unique pressures, and many are navigating their own. Like I said, I can't put enough emphasis because I see so many mothers with bipolar. I don't have any mental illnesses. At least that's what my therapist said. They said I'm pretty well adjusted. They said you're well adjusted, Sheila, you know, but I have to keep in mind a lot of people are not where I'm at right now. So I have to be patient. I'm not a perfect person. I never said I am. I'm working on discipline, self-control. Sometimes I feel like a failure, many times, because I want it to be more gentle. I want to be more with self-control, and I want to have more patience. Trust me, I have my flaws, honey. But instead of demanding perfection from our mothers, let's try to embrace their humanity, and please let's acknowledge their struggles and offer them the love and understanding, the same kind of love and understanding that you would want people to have for you. And that's all I'm saying. I love you. Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.